And we are live. Hello.
Hi.
Everybody.
So I'm the one that teaches online, but I'm the most technically challenged when it comes to Canva or headers. And so let's just say here we are, the cystical
Mystical.
misters. The cystical misters of the sisters of the mystical tarot. Welcome to
I
all of
think you
you.
want to say
Thank you.
traveling pants.
Yeah, there you go.
Traveling
Yeah, we
pants.
got the traveling pants going. Really pleased to be here hosting today. Last week on Valerie's channel, we did our first combo collab, and today was my turn. Next week it will be Shari's turn, and it will follow with the other ladies. Every week we all switch channels, so just keep an eye on it, and you'll be able to tell where to go to find us. So I want to welcome Heather, Indigo Jaguar Intuitive Arts. Heather has not been feeling the best for the last couple of weeks, and we want to send you lots of love, Heather.
Thank
Sorry
you.
you're
Yeah, I
dealing with
appreciate
that.
all the wonderful
Yeah,
prayers and well wishes. It's slow,
that's
but we're getting there. We're
you're
getting
getting there. Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, we want you to get better and feel better.
me too.
Well, and then coming from the swamp, we have Miss Shari H. Voices from the Swamp. Thank you for being here, Shari. And we have Aries Girl Tarot, otherwise known as Allison. Welcome, Allison.
Thank you.
Hi. Thank you. And Val Dragonfly Crystals, welcome to you again. Thank you so much. And once again, Marina is in the house. I have Heart Center Tarot with Marina, who was with me earlier today. So welcome, ladies, and thank you for being here. Thank you all for being here.
Thank you for having us.
Yes, it's
Always a
wonderful.
pleasure.
So today was my choice to figure out what I wanted us to all talk about. And today we are talking about our favorite card decks. So, some people feel more of an affinity with the tarot. Others feel more of an affinity with the oracle cards. But whatever it is, if you have one of each or you want to talk about one of each, whatever when it's your turn, you go for it. So I'm going to go first and talk about mine. I actually have two, but they're by the same person. And if she had 10 more, I'd get 10 more because I love her so much, honestly. So this lady, her name is Kathy Nichols, and she has cards that are on Etsy. And the first card deck that I got was this card deck, which is the Synchronicity deck. And it's kind of pretty on the front. And I suppose I should probably make my picture bigger. Is that, yeah.
Ooh,
All right. Where did you all go, though? I don't want you all to go away. All right, there you go. We have some beautiful cards here. She's a wonderful artist. She lives in Asheville, North Carolina, where a lot of folks do. When I found her, they really spoke to me so much. And I guess some of you also have these decks, I'm guessing. Yeah. There's one for Summer. She's got this one here, The Finder of Lost Things. I mean, I just love all of them. They're magical. And they bring me a lot of joy when I use them. And I can really tell a story with them. But probably the better of the two that I love the most is the story cards. The story cards are what Kathy Nichols does as well. And because I'm an English teacher, I think I like these even more because I love telling stories. So look at this one. Here's one, Opportunity. She uses rich colors. And Heather, I know you like a lot of painting. You do a lot of painting, so I'm sure you understand.
She's one of the ones that inspires me.
Oh, really? Oh, that's good to know.
I've been seeing yours and others and just now trying to figure out how to do that with mine.
Okay. That's fabulous. Yeah. She's very inspiring. And I think she even does some art classes online. I'm trying to get her to come and talk to me. And she promised me she would. And just having a hard time reaching her. But here's another one, The Thinker. So when I pull these, I just really feel like I have, the basis of a story to tell. And so she also has another set called, I believe they're like the flower cards or something. I bought them. I haven't used them yet. But these are my favorite go-tos. If it's more of a spiritual question or a question that has more of a storyline that should be given to it. The other cards that I would recommend, I'm not going to go too deep into them, are these Golden Insight Oracles. Again, Etsy. But these are more, I would say, for my physical readings that I do, more so material readings.
What do you
But I
mean by
really,
physical readings, Allie?
what's that, hun?
What do you mean by physical readings?
What I mean is if somebody says, for instance, am I gonna move to a new house or am I gonna get a new
Okay.
job? It's not spiritual. It's more material. I should have said material.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, thank
But
you.
yeah. But thank you. All right. Very good. So Heather, I'm gonna let you go next. All right.
Okay. So yeah, I was trying. Past couple days, picking your favorite deck is like trying to
Well,
pick your
that's
favorite
true.
kids.
Yeah.
And
And we do change over time. So
yes.
we do
Whew,
sometimes. Yeah.
bad.
It
Never
looks
mind.
good, girl.
Byhead is Byhead. So, the
Cute.
deck I ended up focusing on was everybody knows I love Colette Baron Reed.
Mm-hmm.
The artwork, her artist, her name is always so hard to pronounce. Della. Hmm, I always butcher this girl's name so much. I will. Okay, there's the cat. Um, this is
Cat
life.
likes it too.
Yes, this is life. So I just want to make sure that I get the artist name down because
Sure.
it is Jenna Della Grottaglia, who
You
does
should
the
Okay.
artwork.
have your familiar when you talk
Yeah.
about cards.
Want to say hi?
And that's the Good
Oh,
Tarot. Is that the name of it? The
yes,
Good
this is the
Tarot.
Good
Okay.
Tarot.
Okay.
I have like 9 of her decks.
Oh,
But with this one here, and the reason why she called it the Good Tarot is that because when she does, her readings and cards for her followers, sometimes certain images that are traditional that might be too not offensive, but maybe scary or overwhelming, and she wanted to create a tarot deck that took away, the fear from some of the darker or uncomfortable images, but still being able to bring the message um, that those cards contain, the original.
uh-huh.
So like instead of the devil card, she used temptation,
Oh, I like that.
and it was very creative. Her and Jenna. So you have the apple. There's the gold, and so it's a way of getting across the idea of what the devil card represents, but in a non-threatening, disquieting kind of. It's a positive take on it, so that while there is these energies that come forth while you do your readings um in life, because life isn't all, of course, as we all know, all roses. And I'm sorry, my brain's a little fuddled tonight, so if I'm
So you're
going
doing
up on
fine, dear. You're
You're
still not
fine,
feeling
honey.
well. Yeah.
Okay. One of my favorites too out of her major arcana is the Chariot. And with this deck too, she uses other
Mm.
ethnicities and cultural as well. So just absolutely beautiful, rich, vibrant colors. The Death card is actually the transformation card, which is really beautiful. The Hangman, the colors again,
Oh, they're
vibrant,
beautiful.
gorgeous.
Mhm.
The Star, the Moon. And I'm sorry about some of the glare. The Sun is one of my favorites as
Oh,
well.
it's beautiful. Yeah.
And also with her cards, she doesn't exclude age as well. So for the Queen of Air, absolutely beautiful. Older
Yeah.
woman, then you got the male for the King of Air. Try not to. I had so many set aside. Um, the King of Earth, the beautiful Queen of Earth.
Oh, I
Oh.
love that the different ethnicities. That's lovely. Yeah.
Ten of Water is Buddha.
Yeah.
7 of Water, which would be 7 of Cups. Sorry about the glare, y'all. Um, Messenger of Water. And the King of Water is pretty cool too. Poseidon.
Oh, that's cute.
Mhm.
Queen of Fire, which would be Wands. Um, and then this is one of my favorites, the King of Fire.
Wow.
Just absolutely beautiful. And it's kind of hard to tell, but there's so many different layers to the
Hmm.
artwork. And let's see, I think that's pretty much. And like also, she does like a different take. So with the Hierophant, for me, when I see the Hierophant, this is more like the magician card for me. But this is her
Ah.
interpretation of the Hierophant, and the magician is actually more of a druid looking fella. Um, and instead of temperance, she has patience.
Ooh.
And yep, this would be the magician. And of course, the other card that people get really nervous about is the tower. And I did have that set aside somewhere. Hold on a second, because usually with the tower, they show it coming down, and now it's not here. Maybe I was not supposed to. Oh, here we go. So instead of showing the tower being destroyed, it just shows that there's a tower, that there's something that's built, but there's more to it underneath the foundation. There's still light coming through and shining behind it, letting you know that there's more coming, you know,
Mhm.
in and from within to change the structure without having to completely destroy everything. So, like, again, her perspective is to bring, awareness, but in a way that is more easily accessible and digestible. And no, I'm taking a bit of a time here. I hope
No,
nobody
please
minds.
do. No, it's fine. Yeah,
But the Fortune's Wheel is another beautiful card. I just love the
it's
rich
gorgeous. Yeah.
colors.
Hmm.
Um, and I think my last one here will be the Justice
Justice.
card too. So I really like that deck. It's one of my
Very
favorites.
nice. So, have you worked with that deck for a long time?
It's yes and no. I have so many decks now.
Hmm.
But I find that the decks that are meant to be used will be
Hmm.
let me know when I go to do
Right.
my
Right.
lives. I'll
Right.
have because there are times I'll have like 5 or 6 already pulled aside, but then if there's a question that comes in chat, I might like nope. I'll have to turn around and look, and so I don't typically use the same decks over and over, unless of
Yep.
course like when I do my investigative tarot, I have decks that are of a darker nature to be able
Uh-huh.
to handle the cold cases, the missing. I'll use those because those colors, those cards and colors and images will help with those kinds of cases, those kinds of reads. And like
Hmm.
the spiritual, I leave certain ones that are for spiritual readings, and then the
Hmm.
mysteries, I'll pull out certain ones. So
For
it
those.
just they all get, I would say, probably an even use. And sometimes if I don't use one in a while, they'll let me know, and I'll pull out that particular deck to use for that energy for that particular person that may need it for that reading for during that
That's
live.
really awesome. Wow. Anybody else have any questions for Heather on the panel here? No? Okay. I'm going to go ahead and make Miss Sherry have the
Okay, I
Very
can unmute
beautiful
now.
card. Just
Sorry, my
amazing.
brothers,
Thank you, Heather.
my brother, they're doing homework, so his voice is
Very
kind of
wait.
deep. It tends to carry. So I just figured, well, I'll just mute when I'm not yakking. So, um, God, this was hard to pick because I have several decks that I find I use all the time. But I have to start with when I realized that the Oracle decks were what was calling me. And I started thinking, okay, I got to buy an Oracle deck. What do I get? I didn't know where to look. And there's just so many that, so much to choose from. And lo and behold, right around that time, Allie had a giveaway on her channel. And her husband was the one who drew names for the winners. And I won an Oracle deck. And it's the Eternal Seekers. This is what the back looks like. But the pictures that, like, this one is just called Attainment. hope, wisdom. It's just the color saturation in them, perception. I guess I'll get it straight eventually. But the pictures in them are beautiful, and so are the descriptions when you go through the book. And I find that I go back to that one more than any others because I think one, it was my first, and two, is just really, really just sang to me the first time I opened up the box and held them in my hands. It was like a physical charge I got off of them. And then I got a deck, and I don't remember ordering this deck, but obviously I did in the middle of the night. And it's called the Psychic Development Oracle deck. And it's just real. It starts out with like one or two words on a card, psychometry, or what does this one say? Do your research. And it's designed that for someone who's trying to figure out what their gifts are or trying to figure out what should they focus on or work on. I've discovered that this deck really does wonders because it always seems the right card for what that person is seeking comes out, that you need to, are clairaudient, or it'll just all these different aspects of growing your gifts and of figuring out how to focus in. So I really enjoy that. And I have several others that I like a lot. My favorite tarot deck is, I found this is a Rider-Waite deck, but like you can see, it comes with, of course, the picture and the descriptions, both upright and reversal. And it comes with the ruin symbol and with the astrological symbol and with a, if you get a card, let's see if I can quit pulling them. Like this one here is Six of Pentacles. You'll also get a breakdown of the numerological
Yeah, those are great.
of the six, of what that is. Plus, it's a yes or no card. Each card is a yes, no, or maybe. So I just find that they really come in handy. You just do
Hey,
it
Shari, she wants to know, not that one, but the one you talked about prior. Pierrette wonders what the name of that one was. Yeah.
It's the Psychic Development Oracle deck by Tana Newberry. And I don't remember. I either got it from Amazon or I got it from Etsy, and I don't remember which one I got it from. I don't remember ordering the deck. When I went and looked it up, I ordered it like in the middle of the night, so it must have been. And of course, my newest deck that I just got, and I can't really show all the cards because they're not very nice, but it's called Inner Effing Peace Oracle deck. And so you have one that's like, choose the path of nope today. And then you flip it over and it's like, nope, double nope, hard nope. But it also has some really spicy, saucy sayings in them as well that you have to be careful.
Those are for after hours.
You're on a channel that doesn't mind if you have certain words flashed. So I'm having fun with that one. I just got it in.
They are so much fun. They honestly are. Yes,
I've been looking at the Rebel deck and I could never find them on sale. And that one came up on sale on Amazon for like $5, $6, something like that. And so I ordered. It was like I couldn't resist. It was like, okay, I'm finally going to have me a fun deck I can just play with. And
absolutely.
But
Shari was one of the first people that did get a free deck of cards from me. And what I loved about it was I wanted to encourage her because she was always in the chat and she was always participating. And I thought to myself, she needs to get some cards. She needs to be doing what the rest of us are doing here. So I'm very proud of how she's done and the way she's
channel.
Yeah.
Thanks, Shari. From all of you that encouraged me. I mean, so many people reached out and encouraged me back in the beginning, and like, you're psychic, right? I was like, nah. And they're like, yeah, you are.
That's what I said.
And lo and
Yeah.
behold, they were right.
I know.
Who
Yeah.
knew?
We all have a gift, some kind of a gift.
Some
Absolutely.
form or another. And now I'm at the stage where new gifts are starting to wake up and become
Excellent.
dominant. And it's kind of scary, but it's kind of fun at the same time.
I get
And
this,
it's just
Shari.
trying to kind of get used to it. Just
Yep.
I'm just trying to just roll with the flow. Just
Roll
go
with
with
the
it. Okay.
flow.
Yeah.
Whatever
There you
happens, happens. I did a show with Susan Lynn about a month and a half ago, right about the time my mediumship skills started showing up. She spent the whole show fussing at me. Put the cards down. You don't need the cards. Just tell me what you think. And it was
Yep.
coming. I mean, it was just popping.
Yep.
But
She's great
That
to
sounds like
encourage
fun.
you.
energy mixing with mine that enable that to happen. But of course, she tickles me to death. She's so sweet.
She is.
She's one of the few that I actually got to meet face to face.
That's right. You did.
Her
You did.
and Jen from Jen's World Tarot. We all got to meet here in town and had lunch together, and it was a blast. So they were a lot of fun. But I'm just as I find new decks, and when they start calling to me, it's like, okay, I got to go buy that one.
Yep.
And,
Believe me, I know. I think I have 300 decks. I don't know what to do with them all.
well,
but
and
yeah.
I've got like my wish list on Amazon, and now I've got subscribers who, bless their heart, are buying me decks and sending them to me. And
That's awesome, Sherry. That's
so
awesome.
that's kind of cool too. And
Well,
so
thank
that's
you for
about it.
sharing them. Thank you so much, dear. All
You're
right.
welcome. I'm gonna mute
Next
again.
we have Miss Marina. Are you? Uh-oh. This is not good. I'm not sure.
Oh,
All right.
We had movement.
We have movement. All right.
Yay! Am I freezing up?
Yeah. Yes, you were
Because,
frozen. Yes. Yes.
Some of you guys are freezing up, and I don't know if it's me or you. Or anyway, let's give this a try. Okay. So, I like to collect art for books, and really they to me, and some speak a little. They speak my language a little better than. So, my most favorite deck, and the one that I go to pretty much all the time, if I'm doing like political readings or whatnot, are these ones. This is called the Golden Art Nouveau Tarot. I had to read the name. I had a hard time finding it. But it is Juliana Hold on. Julia F. Massaglia. If I'm saying that properly, there you go. Hopefully you can see it. Yeah. Anyway, I got this deck because it's nice and shiny and shinings. So as soon as I started working with it, it resonated with me, and I could not only read the images, but the story that the images were telling me. I really enjoy it, right? But it kind of looks like it has gold foil on it. I I just find this is the deck that if I'm, as I say, if I'm doing political readings, that's the one that I will generally go to first. When it comes to oracle decks, I have quite a few of those, and my favorite one is it's the Return of Spirit, and I have the box somewhere else, so I can't even tell you who this is, who it's by. I know that it's a female, and she actually has a set of 3 decks that are along the same line. So she has this Return of Spirit, there is divine guidance and path of the soul. And all three of them are really, really good oracle cards for kind of messaging, just being able to kind of hone in on what is being said. But the imagery on here, wait, okay, here we go. Like this is rejuvenation. Let me find another one. Okay. Caretaker. What else do we have here? Yeah. Frequency shift. So that are in the general, and that's how I like to read. Kind of story-wise. So yeah, those are the two that I will go to. I'm always, I can have some cheeky space we for one of the readings, and it was really good. This is kind of the no nonsense deck, that it just tells you what you need to know real quick. So, oh, okay. There you go. I there. So that's it.
I like that.
It's cute.
Yeah.
Sparkle, sparkle.
Those are.
All right.
Yeah.
Did we lose her again? Okay.
Those are my
There is a question that.
favorites.
Okay. Sorry to step on you, honey.
Oh.
We get it? Okay. Sal Rose, we'll certainly answer that question for you. And it's a great question. I just want to let everybody else talk about what they have enjoyed as well. Thank you, Marina. Thank you, dear.
Well, I put everyone's channel in the chat too, so everybody can go and click on all of our channels.
There you go. Thanks, Shari.
You're welcome.
Okay, so you know, I haven't had this deck that long, but the Gateway of Light Activation has become Oracle, has become a fast favorite. Because, you know, it speaks my language, the language of initiation, activation, gateways, working with beings that are not in this dimensional space. So it aligns with me very well. Plus, I have to say that a lot of people that we read for in our chat, a lot of the people in our community have mentioned synchronicities aligned with some of the cards that I've pulled out of here, including beings that they're working with or are being guided to work with, like the Hathors. So it fascinates me, and I adore this deck. So, like, for instance, this has the celestial realms and our ancestral realm. And everybody's talking about ancestral DNA, clearing ancestry, all this stuff. And this goes into detail in the booklet about that.
Yeah.
Akashic Stargate. I mean,
Oh, I love
and
that.
it says aligned with purpose,
great
crossroads, with no wrong path. And it really gives beautiful, beautiful descriptions in detail, which makes sense in my mind. But some of the things that you can learn from this are, you can learn about your gifts, the frequencies you carry, because everything is an energetic frequency, including, you know, how you vibrate and the music you listen to, the things you hear on TV, you know, all of it's an energetic vibration. So it also addresses your energy blocks, your fears, challenges to growth, which most of them all do, your soul's growth, your intentions now that you're awakened, or now that you're here. What are your intentions? The path of your life during this incarnation, the natural source of gifts and strength that you carry, energies expressed from your heart, a soul-based challenge that you might have, and who are you on a soul level. So it gives you things like a solar light upgrade. It's telling you, open up, because this is waiting for you, in your just outside your energy field once you open up during meditation.
I need that.
There's
Deck.
another one, crown chakra upgrade. And it's shockingly accurate. And I have to say, I am totally delighted. And
Is that the name of it, Val? I want to make sure. Someone was asking.
It's called the Gateway of
Of
Light
light
Oh, it's a
activation.
Kyle Gray.
Activation,
Okay.
and it's by
Okay.
Kyle Gray.
Oh, okay.
Yes. Okay,
It's
so
on my list.
just a few other cards. The halls of learning, and I've been there,
Oh,
and
wow.
been there in my meditation, so it looks similar.
I should mute myself.
Yeah.
And the Great Central Sun,
Beautiful.
which I absolutely call on a lot. And here's one that came out last night,
wow.
the Hathor Light Codes. And I adore the Hathors, and I've worked with them. Emerald
I have a
Tablet,
question. What
all
are Hathors?
What's that?
What are Hathors?
What are they? They are,
Who are they?
I've actually been to Egypt and been to the temple that they built for the Hathors. They're
Okay.
interdimensional beings. This is exactly what they look like, especially if you go to the temple and you see them on, which I have pictures of, on the pillars. They have a lot of artwork with them, but they are
Okay.
beings who work with sound and vibrational energies. They're extremely advanced, and they are so fun to work with. The Order of Melchizedek.
Mm.
I mean, there's just, it goes on, and things like the Sword of Light.
Oh my God, that's
Oh, I love
gorgeous.
Isn't that gorgeous?
Mm-hmm.
The artwork, here's the back of the card.
Wow.
They
Nice.
just give a real depth, and here's the crystal skull. They give you a really good advanced tune-up and directional steering to the guides and interdimensional beings that you could be working with. So it's kind of an advanced concept for people that are attuned to those multidimensional energies. For me, I hear it, and it's all like, man, this is like
Mm-hmm.
like candy.
It is.
The
It
guidebook
is.
is phenomenally written with really
Yeah.
beautiful detail, very, very light oriented, very high vibration. Everything is, really beautifully done. So it's my favorite.
That's wonderful, Val. I love anything Kyle Gray does. I really do. I think he's brilliant, and
I'm
that
gonna
is
get more.
of them. I agree. I
I
understand.
definitely like that deck. I know I'm shopping it now.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Thank you, Valerie.
Well,
Thank you so much. And last but certainly not least, we have Allison. And I'm learning about all these different decks. It's wonderful myself. Yeah. Yes, Melody Evangeline. It is pretty artwork. Yeah.
Wow, the lighting in here is horrible. I'm sorry. It's very dark and grainy. So I picked a Oracle deck and a Tarot deck.
Okay.
I'm very much a minimalist. I have been very selective about what I've purchased over the years, but once in a while you get something that doesn't resonate with you, and I've gifted those away. So I probably have a dozen total of everything, which seems like a lot to me. I have a couple I'll probably be getting rid of, but what I have, I love. So, but I ended up picking, and Heather, you'll enjoy this. I ended up picking The Wisdom of Avalon, Colette Baron. This
I
is a
have that
really
one
old
too.
deck. I've had this probably 18 years. I went on a cruise with her and others from Hay House. Actually, I did two with Hay House group years ago. But anyhow, I got this deck on that cruise, and it was my first Oracle deck. I'd already purchased a tarot deck and had no idea what to do with it, and it sat for years. But I got this Oracle deck, and I've bought others since. But and I never read the booklet. I always read it intuitively, and I don't know why it's my favorite. I suppose in a way it's sentimental, but it just talks to me. And I'm not an Oracle person at all. I much prefer the tarot. But once in a while, I'll still pick it up. And it's because I've had it for years. It's always really accurate. And I really should use it more because it's it really does say, hey, what's up? When I pick it up, and it just boom, it's very cool. But anyways, a quick little go through of it because it definitely is deserving of that. It's kind of cut into 4 different sections, and again, I don't use the definitions, but I have looked at the booklet over the years, and I pretty much was doing it anyhow without even realizing it. So there's a grouping that are basically what I will call the people in the beginning. So you've got, a king and a queen and a knight, and you've got like a high priestess and a Merlin, which is like the magician, and da-da-da-da-da. So you've got all of those. That's very cool for people, obviously, when you're reading. And then there's a whole bunch. I don't know how many are here. I didn't count them, but there's probably at least 18 animals, which I love. And they're the animals that would come to mind for the most part, right? That you would think of when you think of animals with animal medicine, although all animals have their medicine. And then there's 4 fairies. And keeping with like what Heather said, and I totally agree, Colette's decks are always very culturally diverse. The fire fairy, she looks like she's probably indigenous to America, maybe not. African American, the wind fairy, probably African, the earth fairy, and Asian, the water fairy, which I think is very cool.
She's beautiful.
And I love the fairy cards. And then there's a whole bunch of what I would call the pips, right? This deck you can still buy, but the cards don't look like this anymore. The pips, because this deck changed, I don't know, a year or 2 after production. So I've got the original deck. So these marker cards look completely different now. They've got a lot more detail, and it's like a picture background, where mine, it just looks like a woods, and there's like a marker with a word. Partnership, restriction, joy, protection, risk, communication, So you can ask all kinds of different questions. There are spreads that you can do. I typically don't. I usually do like a 5-card spread type thing, and my deck just knows, or my guide, you know what I mean, what it's going to be. And anyways, but I really loved this deck, and I can't recommend it enough. And if I had to say one thing, is that cards like this are just too big for somebody like me that has small hands. But maybe I'm the minority. So that's one reason I don't like Oracle decks. They're just too big for me to shuffle. I have a really hard time with it. And then I have to shuffle in a way that I don't really like to. And then you kind of question the cards you're getting. You know what I mean? But again, the deck talks to me. So anyway, so that's that one. And again, that's the Wisdom of Avalon Oracle deck by Colette Baron Reed. And then my favorite tarot deck, I will say this much: I'm a Rider-Waite Smith girl all the way, always. Just and I have other decks, and I've also drooled over certain decks where I love the artwork and all of that, but I like Rider-Waite, so I don't really go with the plunge and buy any. but I do get the attraction because they're so beautiful. And I'm a paper person. I like paper and books and everything else. It's not that I'm not tempted. I just don't. Because they're beautiful. They're little pieces of art. You got a whole stack of it. But anyhow, Pamela Coleman Smith's RWS tarot deck is my favorite. Right now, the reason it's my favorite is these cards shuffle like butter. This is the smoothest shuffling deck I've ever held in my hands. Hands down, no comparison at all. They're thin, but they're not too thin. As far as the artwork goes, you know, it's Rider-Waite-Smith, but it's a very muted, almost like, here's the star. It's almost like a gray, right? It's a powder blue, the sky. I look at this as being very wintry, the colors, and like I'm loving it this time of year using this deck. Here's the red on the Justice, right? So it's kind of washed out, all of it, but I think they're beautiful. And the Rider-Waite-Smith, as much as I love it, the true original decks that we use, I can't stand the color palette that's used. That mustard yellow and that like crayon red. It's just
too much.
I love the artwork. I just like how other people have come out with the Rider-Waite-Smith, but they do a different spin on the color. Love it. And then I'm done. I'll just say that. But this one's also another good one. The Golden Universal, which also has some gold leafing, and it's more like a black and red type version. And I don't know why the lighting is so horrible you can't even see it. But anyways, that's mine.
That's wonderful. Thank you. I think we all feel fortunate to find out about all these different decks, honestly.
I've got several of them going on my
Allison,
wish
that was
list.
my very first Oracle deck too, was the Colette Baron Reed. And I was drawn to it because the year that card, I think it was like a couple months after that deck came out, I was living in Flagstaff and going to Sedona for Reiki training, and it opened up that I had a past life in Avalon. So when that deck came out, I was just learning about that past life, and I was drawn to that deck. And I don't use it as much as I do her other cards, but that you said you weren't sure why you were drawn to that. It might have been because
it probably
of having
was
a past life connection to the divine feminine from that history.
Also, she was selling the deck on the cruise, and it was the only deck, and so I got it. But being drawn, because I did get others after that, but that was the one that I was drawn to. Plus, I had a very positive experience with her. Really enjoyed her, much better than like Sylvia Brown or Sonia Choquette or any of the other readers that were on the cruise. But no, it's been a great deck. And I have others someday too, but this is the only one that I really like, to be perfectly honest.
That's what I like about the Rider-Waite deck that I got. You know, it's there's good saturation in the colors, but it's not, like you said, cartoony colors. You know, it's a little bit more realistic, and I like the fact that they come with all the bells and whistles all around them, so I can use them for a multiple of different aspects than just doing a reading.
That's awesome.
So,
well, I have an affinity for the Avalon. I was writing in the chat that if you get a chance, if you're a reader, Mists of Avalon by Marion Zimmer Bradley. I ended up taking a King Arthur class in my graduate studies, and it just blew the doors off of everything. It's such a nice, magical read. Yeah,
I own it. I bought it like 2 months ago. It was at like a Salvation Army type store that I was at. I saw it and I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna buy it. You know, it was like,
you gotta read it.
Have you seen the miniseries?
Looked like it'd never been read. It's the original, you know, one, and I was like, and I'll read it. But I was
you'll like it. I think you'll like it.
I will. Yes, and I'll read
Juliana
it.
Margulies did a great job.
I screwed it up.
Morgan.
So they've made a series about it with Juliana Margulies. Oh, I'll have to check that out.
2000s early. Yeah, it was on TV, and she just beautiful portrayal of Morgaine. I mean, it was just,
So this is a great question that one of the chat asked.
Just very, very quickly say that the return a particular author is
You breaking up, Marina?
Yeah, Marina, we can't hear you, hon.
tarot. Do
I don't want to step on her. The minute I start talking, she'll be. I'll let you guys think about an answer to this question. Marina, are you back? Can you? No, she's still frozen. Okay.
Still
I could talk
frozen.
20 minutes on that.
okay.
I think this is an important question, and I like it. So, I'd love to hear what all of you have to say. And actually, Allison, you kind of mentioned a lot about why you like what you like, and but you're welcome to say more, of course.
I'll just say this about the question. How's that?
Okay.
So, in my opinion,
Mhm.
tarot allows you to tell a very specific story
Mhm.
with multiple characters and significant life moments with the major arcana, and then you have the minors, which are more like everyday events, that kind of stuff. And you have the court cards for the people and that's tarot, right? In a nutshell, like a tiny, tiny nutshell. Oracle cards are all completely different, and a lot, you like, take for instance, like a couple of the decks that I have, they're just animals,
Right.
so they're representing the energies of those animals, right? Mm-hmm. You've got another deck, I've got one here that I love. This one's flowers. Mm-hmm. So it gives you the essence of the flower, and then there's a lesson, and there's like a meaning, and there's a this and a that and that. There are no people, there are no life situations, there are no events, there's no so and on and on and on and on it goes. So I'll just leave it at that and let others talk.
Okay. Val, what about you?
For me, I feel like an oracle deck is more personal. That's just how, because when I read tarot, I do so many political readings. If I was going to read for someone, I would use my star tarot, which is more spiritually oriented. But in oracles, or if you're just going to pull some oracle cards for someone, I feel like it can give a more personal, specific message to them for that moment in time and touch them like, oh yeah, just with 3 cards.
Sure.
Yeah. That's, I think, the difference for me, just in a nutshell.
That's cool.
Yeah, for me, that's how it was with Oracle for me, is because I'm such more of an intuitive reader. I mean, I'm learning more about tarot, and you can use intuition more now with the new forms of I mean, there's so many creators out there taking the basic tarot and just doing a lot of beautiful interpretations of their own, but still keeping it, the traditional. But for me, an oracle allows me to tap more into my intuitive side of myself, and I don't feel so like bogged in by, well, this is its meanings and not really much of anything else. So for me, I really prefer the oracle for spiritual readings, but like, whereas, like, I don't do necessarily political, but with the investigative tarot, when I do those kind of reads, I like the different types of tarot that I have, because that does help create the story and the guideline and the players that are included that need to be addressed. But for me, oracle gives me more freedom in connecting with my higher self, my intuition, and my guides, if that helps.
Beautiful. Yeah. Okay, so Marina's keeps freezing up, so she's typed in here. I heard you say it was frozen. This Return of Spirit deck is by Cheryl Lee Harnish, as are the Divine Guidance and the Path of the Soul decks, just so everybody knows. That's wonderful. Thank you very much, Marina, for letting us know that. Marina, are you still frozen? I think you still are.
Yeah.
If you want to try to answer that question, I'm going to write this in here. Marina, answer question on the.
She waved. I think she is.
Are you still frozen, Marina?
I think she just pops in and out.
No. Okay. Do you have a feeling about the difference between Oracle and Tarot as far as your readings
I
go?
don't think. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Uh,
Now you're frozen.
I do. I do. Hold on. I'm
Okay.
okay. All right.
Yep.
You might do better just type it in.
I just want to say hi to Sheila, Inquisitive Tarot, a
Oh,
Why is she
member,
Nice
former
to see
member
you.
of Sisters of the Mystical Tarot. And
That's
probably, anyway, she doesn't know it. She's a member for life.
That's right. That's
And
right,
go
Sheila.
tell
You sure are.
California you can check out, but you can never leave, right?
That's right. Go ahead, Marina, if you get it, if you can. No? Okay. She says she's just going to listen. All right, Shari, what about you?
You know, I mean, I'm fairly new at reading cards. I've only been doing this about a year and a half, 2 years now.
Uh-huh.
And at first, I think I was just very intimidated by the tarot deck because there's just so many
That's
cards.
me. Yeah.
And I was like, I'll never memorize this. And it took a while for it to come across. You don't have to memorize anything. Just go with what you feel. Sometimes it lines up with what the card meaning is in the book, and sometimes it doesn't. Which, once I started doing it, it started feeling a little bit easier. But at some point when I was first starting out, and Allie, I think it was you with Susan Lynn, you would pull, because Susan was doing most of the readings, and you would pull one or two oracle cards.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't remember what decks it was that you were using, but they just really spoke to me in a way that the tarot decks didn't. It's like I enjoy the tarot decks, but oracle decks just really, there's just something, there's like a deeper connection. I can't really explain it in words.
Right.
It's just a feeling. And when I started working with them is when I started feeling other avenues starting to open up to me.
Sure.
You know, other gifts started. It was like they were the bridge I needed to plug in.
I
And
get it.
so and I have different oracle decks that I use for different kinds of readings, different questions. When I do personal readings, I usually will do a tarot read. And kind of like Allison said, I stick with a 5-card spread because it's kind of to the point. You know, you're not
Right.
doing all this other rigmarole. It kind of gets right to the heart of the question. But then I always try to pull one or two oracle cards to go with it, just to kind of balance out
Sure.
from the spiritual section.
And they
of it.
really do call to you. The ones that want to be read, they
Yeah.
tend to say, wait a minute, I may be back here, but please pull me out because
Whenever I
I
know I'm going to be doing readings, or if I'm doing a
Yeah.
personal reading,
uh-huh.
I'll have almost all my decks out on my
Yep.
side desk here
Yep.
and open. And when questions come over, a lot of times I'll just kind of reach over, and it's just like, okay, whichever one warms my hand as I pass it over the
There
decks.
you go. Yep.
It's like I just feel it. Oh, this is the deck to go with. And
Yep.
and so that's how I do it. I mean, everybody does it differently.
Everybody
It
does.
took me a while to realize there's no set way to do this. You do what works for you, and you do
Yep.
what resonates with you.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yeah.
just like all clients or people in chat or anything are not going to resonate with what you read or what you say. But that's okay. If there's one person that you resonate with, then that message was meant for that person.
And for that
And it
person.
was just learning to accept that and just go with it. And
Yep.
and it's like storming like crazy here. So if I cut
Is it?
out,
Okay.
lost power.
We're almost done today anyway, but there's a couple more things I wanted to say. One of them was, as far as I'm concerned, being the old English teacher and teach literature, it's the symbology that I like better on the oracle cards. But that doesn't mean I don't like the tarot, because I did do a study on it in the Jungian archetype, and I thought that it was a lot of fun to look at it that way. But one of the things, the other part of the question was, why do you need so many? And obviously Allison is, yeah, it is addictive. It's almost like a collection of something. And Allison is actually the smartest person here, because she keeps her money. The rest of us are spending a lot. But it's so much fun. And every time I get a new deck, you can tell right away if it's going to work for you or not, I think. And you can't tell until you look at it. You just can't tell from the box. You really can't. Yeah. So yeah, I'm really.
One more thing.
Yeah, of course.
All I wanted to say, and thank you, is that it's true. We do all read differently, which I think is beautiful. I'm very, I don't know, I guess I'll use the word traditional with the tarot. Like, I definitely wanted to learn the meanings, and that's how I've used it. And that's me. But the oracle decks, I've never read a guidebook of any of them.
I haven't either.
No, those are intuitive. The tarot, and I can't read it any other way. But the beautiful thing about the tarot, and this was my point, and then I'll be done, you never stop learning the tarot.
Nope.
No.
I agree with that.
You will learn and learn and learn. I've had readers from women that have been reading for 20 years or more, and they're still learning. And that's the beauty of it. And it's addictive. Right. I love it. I will never put down the tarot. I'm in for life. I absolutely have a relationship with it, and I'm really enjoying it.
So I have a question, since you're more tarot, and the rest of you can answer as well, but because I'm not, do you like some people like borderless? They said they feel like the.
That's so funny you do that. Yes, in fact, there's one deck that I really want to get, and it's the Radiant Wise Spirit deck, and it's the Rider-Waite artwork, and it's zoomed in a little bit, and it's high like brightness, and it's borderless, and it's gorgeous. I like borderless, but I really probably only have one or two that are, because just most decks come with borders.
That's why I love her deck, because on the Good Tarot, there's no borders. You're focusing on the beautiful artwork itself.
The big oracle decks don't, but but yeah, like as far as like all of my tarot, they all have.
I like both. It doesn't matter. I don't really have a preference, I guess.
I find them much more attractive without the border, but that's just me. That's very personal, I would think.
How about you, Val? What about you?
I was just laughing because until somebody made me aware, these are borders and these aren't, I was happy. I just was a happy reader. It doesn't matter. I go, oh yeah, these are borders and these aren't. Thereby making me go, oh yeah, I noticed the border now. So I don't think it really matters.
A lot of the borderless decks, when they go into the mini size, they then have a border. Like the Santa Muerte deck, which is another favorite of mine. I'll just go ahead and mention this. The Santa Muerte, this has a border. The minis are great if you have little hands. Now I'm done.
Oh no, that's fine. Marina, do you have
my Moonology deck, because it's a smaller deck that actually fits in your hand, and it shuffles really easily. And so I use this one a lot. It didn't come with a guidebook. I now know that there is a guidebook to this deck. I never knew that, because when I ordered these, I just got the cards, and I liked them because they fit so comfortably. And I also liked them because it made me have to think about what it said on the card and go with that intuitive read.
Yeah.
To read to tell me what it meant. And because I got these back in the beginning. So it makes a big difference, I think.
Yeah, I was worried too much about the guidebooks when I first started, and I said everybody was saying no, don't fall. You know, you don't need to use them. Use your intuition, and I felt really much more comfortable. And if I really get stuck, I might open it up and take a look at it. But normally,
That's what
no, I
I do.
don't. Yeah.
Yeah.
It'll let me know if I need to keep the book near me, because I'll be like, okay, I'll tell people, hold on a second. There's something in the book that I need to read that I need to come across that I'm not, picking up. And then I'll
Right.
scan just really quick, and that one line will jump right out. And I'll be like,
Yep.
okay, this is it right here. And I'll read it out. And I'm like, okay, that's what needed to be said. And I'll set the book aside
Sure.
until I need to do that again.
Yeah, usually with new decks are the one when I will read the book. If I pull a card that just doesn't really speak to me with the picture, I'll pull the book and look at it to see if what I'm feeling is kind of lining up to what the author meant for that card to say. And sometimes it does, and sometimes it doesn't. I just, it's been very freeing learning,
Oh, look at your
allowing
card.
myself to
She-
just
Oh, hi,
go with
babies.
it. Look at that face.
So this one here tells me when we've been on an hour.
Oh,
She tells me.
Mom, come on.
Aw. It's time to go potty, mommy.
It's time to go.
Aw.
Time for dinner. That's right. Thank you so much, ladies. Very lovely. I love learning about your cards. Marina, I'm sorry you froze up so much, honey, but we love you dearly. And thank you. Thank you to Allison, to Heather, hoping you feel better, Heather, Val, and Shari, and Marina, of course, and all of you in the chat. Make sure you check with us next week. It's always on Wednesdays, and it will be on Shari's channel next
On
week.
my channel.
Thanks,
All
Allie.
right. Thank you, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Bye,
Have a good
Have a
night.
good night. Have
Yeah.
a good night. Thank you.